Welcome back to Call for Help, my favorite segment, TV time. If you're like thousands of other potential high-definition television buyers, HD TV buyers, you probably have a question or two about what to get, LCD, plasma, projection, DLP. What are they? Which is better? Here to help us clear things up, one of our favorite guests, Chief Editor of The Secrets of Home Theater and High Fidelity, John Johnson. Welcome back, John. And you brought some toys. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
You brought some toys. I love these TVs.
Great toys.
Now, first of all, we've got two different kinds of TVs. And at home, remember, you're watching on you're probably watching on a standard old TV, and certainly we're not a high-def signal, so you're not going to see the difference at home. You're going to have to go to a store somewhere to look at them. But let's talk about, this is plasma, this is LCD. What is the difference between these two, technically?
All right, well, technically, plasma is an active color process.
Okay.
And the way it works
is... It glows.
Right.
Yeah.
There's about 1 million small gas-enclosed chambers inside this, and
yeah.
each one is a pixel, and each one of those has three subpixels, one each for red, green, and blue.
Right.
And what happens is when a voltage is applied, the gas inside the little chamber ionizes. The electrons separate from the atom, and when the electrons jump back onto the atom, ultraviolet light is emitted.
Yeah.
That strikes red, green, or blue phosphors in the subpixels, and those glow the respective
appropriate
colors.
color. Right.
Now with LCD, it's a passive color process.
We have light reflecting or passing through, right?
Right. There's a series of fluorescent lights behind the panel.
Right.
And then there's two polarizing sheets, and in between that are the LCD crystals.
Right.
Each one of them is a pixel
Right.
with 3 subpixels.
Right.
And what happens is when voltage is applied to those pixels, the pixel becomes dark. Mm-hmm. So it's a passive process. It subtracts light from the light that's behind the panel.
So we've got a white light coming through, and we'll just cut out the color that we don't need. So each of these has the advantage of being 1 pixel per pixel, so you have very crisp displays on both.
The resolution's the same for both.
Equal resolution. Is there any advantage to plasma over LCD?
Yes. Plasma has a brighter and generally contrastier picture, better color saturation.
The blacks are better?
Except when you have a lot of room light on, like here in the studio, or if you're at home with the big windows, or you like to watch with the room lights really bright, then actually LCD looks better.
So initially, the black on this isn't as good on the LCD if the room were dim, for instance, but in a daylight situation in your living room. This would be better for watching daytime TV, in other words.
If you have a room with a lot of light in it, then LCD will look blacker.
I can't see it. Even in here, though, I can see that the blacks aren't quite as crisp and black. What are the disadvantages of plasma?
Plasma burns in, and this is a problem.
Oh, we have a huge problem with that.
Right. It's a problem where you have logos from certain channels in the bottom right-hand corner.
Stay there.
Or if you're a gamer and you have, say, a dashboard at the bottom that stays there, or some sort of a panel that stays there.
Yeah.
After a period of time, when you change channels or going to watch some other type of programming, you can still see the logo, a faint image of the logo, or that control panel at the bottom of the screen.
We have a Tech Live logo burned into our screen here because it's left on for a long period of time during a show.
Now, some of the manufacturers are now building in a way to show kind of a random white and gray noise on the screen. If you let that run for maybe 15 minutes.
A screensaver, in other words.
It'll try to
But that won't fix it if it's a
the
game dashboard, because you want to see the screen and you're going to be active. It's going to stay there for a long time.
I mean, after you stop watching the game,
it'll fix
you turn on this.
Will it fix it?
It will do a pretty good job of fixing it in about 15 minutes.
I also noticed that plasmas give off a lot of heat. They must use a lot of energy.
They use more energy and put off more heat than LCDs.
Right, right. Any other disadvantages? Are they going to last as long as an LCD?
No, actually, LCD will last longer, about twice as long.
Twice as
long. This is a phosphor like a CRT, so after about 10 or 15 years, you'll lose about half the brightness.
Brightness goes out. People like the plasma because they're thin, but the LCD is just as thin.
It's just as thin.
It has, in fact, it's a lot lighter. We were able to lift this, just Roger and me.
Well, part of that is because LCDs come in smaller sizes, from about 30 to 40 inches.
How big is this one?
That is a 37-inch.
It looks big, though. That's 42-inch plasma.
This is a 42-inch plasma, and that's about the smallest size that you can get in plasma. It ranges up to 63 inches. So if
you can get much bigger screens than in plasma.
You can get up to about 63 inches right now.
This is the biggest LCD out. I was surprised that this was LCD when I came in. I didn't know they even made them this big.
They're just starting to come out with this, and I suspect at some point that LCDs will be just as big as plasma. Part of the reason this has such good black levels is it has what they call a TFT on the front, which is thin film transistor.
Right.
This particular one is made by Sharp, and it was supplied to us by projectorpeople.com. And this TFT panel is what makes it look so good with bright lights.
This is a great looking
Because it does not reflect the light like this does. So in a bright light, this will look kind of brownish gray in the black areas, whereas in bright lights, this will look black.
All right, the bottom line, though, is the price. Which is more expensive? They're the same price?
Well, these two are about the same price, but of course the LCD is a little bit smaller.
Right. Plasma has come down considerably. How much does this 42-inch
This is about
Hitachi?
both these units are about $6,000.
$6,000.
This is an
either one.
Hitachi unit, and they're both about $6,000. But if you want to buy a 63-inch screen plasma, you're talking about $20,000.
It's hugely expensive.
But they'll hang on the wall, so they take up no floor space.
I know, they're wonderful. Do you have a recommendation, or does it really depend on the situation?
Well, it's going to depend on the situation.
Yeah.
If you like to watch with the room lights on, get LCD. If you like to watch late at night, get plasma. If you're a gamer, get LCD.
Yeah.
Now, plasmas have a problem at high altitude, believe it or not. What's happened is the gas inside is now higher pressure in relation to the atmospheric pressure, so they start buzzing.
Oh, dear.
Because they put out more heat. So if you live in Denver or Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is 5,000 or 6,000 feet,
I think this is the TV in my future. I'm very impressed with these LCDs. I didn't know they got this big. I am really excited about this, but I'm going to wait till they drop a little bit in price. Both of these will drop in the years to come.
I suspect that they will.
John Johnson is the expert on this. Great article on our website if you want to read all the details. Plasma or LCD? Man, I'd love to have one of these under my tree. That is just good looking. If you want to learn more, go to the screen. Sorry. This is call for help, isn't it? Go to techtv.com/call for help. Up next, a whole big board full of RCA products to give away. Not a booby prize in the bunch. It's a Wired World Challenge. By the way, thanks again to the projector people for providing these great screens. It's really nice to see them in person. Makes a big difference.